Hello, good afternoon everyone. Today I am going to teach you about applied anatomy of CVS cardiovascular system. In previous lecture, we have seen regarding general introduction of CVS as well as component of CVS, uh, characteristics of artery and veins and their supply, okay, as well as characteristic of capillaries, anastomosis, then sinusoids, okay, capillary bed, etc., as well as difference between artery and vein, okay. In this portion we will study regarding clinical aspect of the cardiovascular system. It is most important and very interesting point, okay. First, in applied anatomy of CVS, first we start with the blood pressure. Generally we know that 120 by 80 mm per hg is normal blood pressure, but what is 120, what is 80, okay, how it is created, it is more important to know. So let's start. The blood pressure is the arterial pressure exerted by the blood on the arterial walls, okay. What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the arterial pressure exerted by the blood on the arterial walls, okay. Because during viva many of the students not able to answer the definition of blood pressure, okay. They just know 120 by 80, okay, but how what is definition, how it is created, what is systolic, what is diastolic, they don't know. Blood pressure is the arterial pressure exerted by the blood on the arterial walls. The maximum pressure during ventricular systole is called systolic pressure, okay. The minimum pressure during the ventricular diastole is called diastolic pressure. Everyone knows 120 by 80, okay. 120 is the systolic pressure and 80, okay, is the diastolic pressure. In between 120 and 80, so there will be gap between 40, okay. This will be termed as pulse pressure, that we will discuss in later on. Now start with once again I am repeating. The maximum pressure during ventricular systole is called systolic pressure. The minimum pressure during ventricular diastole is called diastolic pressure. The systolic pressure is generated by the force on the contraction of the heart. The diastolic pressure is chiefly due to arteriolar tone, okay. Now the heart has to pump the blood against the diastolic pressure, which is direct load on the heart. Normally the blood pressure is roughly 120 by 80 mmHg. This is the normal blood pressure. The systolic pressure ranging from 110 to 130, okay. It should be considered as a normal. And the diastolic pressure from 70 to 80 mm per Hg. The difference between systolic and diastolic pressure is called pulse pressure, okay. Pulse pressure can be asked in viva, okay, that we have discussed. Now what is hemorrhage? Hemorrhage is the obvious result of rupture of the blood vessel, okay. In short, bleeding. Venous hemorrhage causes oozing of the blood. Arterial hemorrhage causes spurting of the blood, okay. In short, if there will be rupture of the vein, it will be blood will be slightly or slowly expelled. When if the artery is cut or injured, the blood will be expelled forcefully, okay. In this diagram you can see hemorrhage classification. First, capillary, venous and arterial. Capillary, slow, even its pressure, slow, even flow. Color will be bright red color, okay. If in short, if there will be cut of the capillary, then bleeding will be slow, and color will be bright red. Okay, now if there will be cutting of the vein, any part of the vein, then pressure will be slow. Okay, and color will be dark red color. Now if any artery will be cut, then pressure, or it will be spurting blood as well as pulsating flow. Okay, color bright red color. Okay, so generally you have to remember the difference because this can be useful in our daily life. Now vascular catastrophes are of three types. Catastrophes, this is new word, sudden damage. Okay, its meaning is sudden damage. From three type vascular catastrophes are three types: thrombosis, embolism, and hemorrhage. All of them result in a loss of blood supply to the area of distribution of the level vessel involved, unless it is compensated by the collateral circulation. Okay, all of them result in the loss of blood supply to the area where it is supplied or distributed to the blood vessel, unless it is compensated by the collateral circulation. Arteriosclerosis. Okay, in old age the arteries become stiff. This phenomena is called arteriosclerosis. Okay, this causes a variable reduction in the blood supply to the tissue and rise in the systolic pressure. Okay, now arteritis and phlebitis. There is suffix itis, means there will be inflammation. Inflammation of an artery is known as arteritis. Phlebitis, this is little bit new. And inflammation of vein as phlebitis. Atheroma, okay, tumor. Atheroma are patchy changes develop in the tunica intima of arteries due to accumulation of cholesterol and other lipid compounds. Okay, due to accumulation of cholesterol and other lipid compounds, because during in hypertension etc. we see the general reports of lipid profile, cholesterol etc. Okay, arteries most commonly narrowed are those in the heart, brain, small intestine, and kidney and lower limbs. The changes are called thrombi. Okay, in this diagram, first diagram, normal artery flow will be normal, artery wall in cross section. In B diagram, abnormal blood flow due to plaque. There will be deposition of cholesterol, lipid etc. So it causes narrowing of the dimension of the artery. Coronary artery blockage. Okay, generally you heard there will be blockage etc. So in for blockage for to clear the blockage, surgeon do the surgery, angiography etc. and you heard that stent mukayo છે. Okay, in short this may be opened by stent. Okay, and blocked coronary artery may be replaced by graft. Okay, first stent inside the coronary artery. Okay, in first diagram you can see plaque, guide wire, balloon, angioplasty, this procedure. And in this diagram, coronary graft, coronary artery bypass graft, a procedure to bypass a blocked section of coronary artery and to deliver oxygen to the heart. Okay, this precaution should be taken. In this procedure, one end of blood vessel is attached to the aorta, arch of aorta you can see, and other end is attached to the coronary artery at a point below the blockage. Okay, in this diagram you can see blockage in the coronary artery, and quadrangular mark shows graft. Okay, one end attached to the aorta and other end attached to the point below the blockage. Okay, so supply is continue. Now aneurysm, another new word for you. Aneurysm is the swelling or dilatation of blood vessels where part of the wall of the artery inflates like balloon. The wall of the blood vessel at the site of aneurysm is weaker and thinner than the rest of the blood vessel. Due to its likelihood to burst, it possesses serious risks to health. Okay, in short, aneurysm, there will be swelling or dilatation of the blood vessel. Okay, in this diagram you can see aneurysm in circle of Willis in brain. Okay, there is written 40%, 20%, 34%, 4% and redness. Okay, that is swelling and dilatation of the blood vessel and become weaker, and at any time it get burst, so it will be risk for patient or any person, okay, who is suffering from this condition. Burgess disease, thromboangiitis obliterans. This word we have seen during the study of artery. Okay, at that time I told that there will be inflammation on the artery or vein of the hand and foot. Okay, this is a very painful condition. Okay, thromboangiitis obliterans, also called as Burgess disease. This is very painful condition. There is inflammation of small peripheral arteries of the legs. Okay, there is a inflammation of small peripheral arteries of the legs. The victim is young person and heavy smoker. These are the causative factor. Okay, young person and habitat of the heavy smoker. Raynaud's phenomena. In this condition, there is a spasmodic attack of the pallar of the fingers due to constriction of small arteries and arterioles in response to cold. Okay, in short, there will be spasmodic attack and spasmodic attack of pallar of the fingers. Okay, due to constriction of the small arteries and arterioles in severe chill or cold condition. Okay, it is also termed as cyanosis. Cyanosis is bluish discoloration. Acute phlebothrombosis. Acute. Okay, the veins of the lower limbs are affected due to lack of movement of the leg. There is thrombus formation with mild inflammation. Okay, once again, the veins of the lower limbs are affected due to lack movement of the legs. Okay, reason, due to lack movement of the legs, there is thrombus formation with mild inflammation. This thrombus may get dislodged and flow in the blood and may block any other artery. This condition is called embolism. Okay, this condition we have seen during anatomical terminology in applied aspect. Okay, it will block the area arterial supply. Okay, now varicose veins. When the vein wall is subjected to increased pressure over long time, there is atrophy of muscle and elastic tissue with fibrous replacement. This leads to stretching of the vein with tortuosity and localized bulging. Okay, varicose veins generally see the person whose job are continuous standing position like conductor, okay, etc. Venous congestion of the feet is relieved by putting feet on the stool that is higher than that of the trunk, helping in venous return and relief in tiredness, okay. In short, uh, varicose vein person should put their leg higher than the trunk, so venous flow or venous blood flow easily can reach to the heart, okay. Varicose vein may occur at the lower end of esophagus or in the anal canal, okay. So just generally we can we see the patient of varicose veins on leg, okay, due to continuous standing position, okay. But some of the cases can be seen in of varicose veins in lower end of the esophagus and in the anal canal. In this diagram you can see varicose veins, okay. First diagram show normal vein, its valve position, direction flow, varicose vein, direction flow, reverse, okay. So you can see there is tortuosity on the back of the leg. At the time of parenteral nutrition, at the times parenteral nutrition can be given through the right subclavian vein. Now what is parenteral nutrition? Parenteral nutrition is intravenous administration of nutrition which may include protein, carbohydrate, fat, mineral and electrolytes, vitamins and other trace elements for patients who cannot eat or absorb uh, enough food through tube feeding formula, okay. In short, if there is emergency condition and patient not able to take food from mouth, okay, in any severe condition, okay, at that time parenteral nutrition can be done through the right subclavian vein. In this procedure, nutrition means which are essential for living like protein, carbohydrate, fat, etc. should be provided with right subclavian vein to the body. Blood vessels can be examined in the retina by ophthalmoscope, especially in cases of diabetes and hypertension, okay. Blood vessels can be examined in the retina by ophthalmoscope, okay. This is instrument you will study in the ENT, especially in the cases of diabetes and hypertension, okay. First let me just explain this parenteral nutrition through the right subclavian vein, okay. In this diagram you can see SVC, heart, subclavian vein course, clavicle, okay. Parenteral nutrition is done through the subclavian vein. Now, okay, diabetic retinopathy. First diagram shows the normal retina and second diabetic retinopathy. If you visualize it through the ophthalmoscope, then you will see this difference in the normal retina as well as diabetic person. Fovea, macula, optic disc, central retinal, retinal vein, central retinal artery, retinal venules, retinal arterioles, okay. In diabetic retinopathy, hemorrhages, abnormal growth of blood vessels, aneurysm that we have seen, dilatation of vein artery, cotton wool spots, hard exudates, okay. In retina we have seen there will be a end artery, okay. So this will be difference you can see by ophthalmoscope in the normal retina and diabetic person. Thank you everyone.